Well, quite early on when you are developing your designs, you're going to need access to the editing tools, and we're just carrying on with this little project here, and what I want to use the editing tools for is to remember these are galvanized metal poles that are going to support our structure, our shading structure here, and we clearly need to, where we've got this flat tubing running between the building and the pole, and that's going to support these stainless steel wires that run through here. We need to trim off some bits and pieces. I've left this essentially fascia area showing at the moment. You might want to include that in your design, or you might not. In my case I don't, but I'm just leaving it there to remind you that we've reflected part of the building out here in the design. But we want to trim off some of the lines in here, so we roll in. And once you're editing, of course, you're modifying. So we pick Modify and Trim. The prompt down on the bottom of the screen says select the cutting edges, so we pick the circle and we simply trim off that little overhang. And I'll leave these through here because I'm going to remove them later. No, maybe not. Let's take them off right now just to illustrate the power of the trim command. We'll do the same down in here. So it's Modify Trim, but you don't have to do it that way. You can simply right click and repeat the trim. It remembers the last command with the right click. So we click there and knock off those lines that are through there. There was a double line through there because we're at that midpoint where we mirrored things. We can also zoom in here. Now, as our piece of flat galvanized tubing that's going to support the wires runs across and attaches to the brickwork in the house, you can see I've got a slight error in here. You can fix that, and they clearly don't come to the same point. That would have happened because one of the entity snaps was turned on. In this case, we can simply click on the end there and do that. Click here, click and make that hot, and then come back there. And if I hit the escape key, you can see that we've just about done it neatly. I missed a little there, and we can come back to that point there. But remember, these are indicative drawings. By the time we zoom out, in fact they'll look as though they are one. We might even have to move those further apart, but I'm sure you get my drift. The editing commands, so I've got some cleanup to do down in this area. So it's just a little brief introduction to the editing commands. There are a lot of them. Copy, move, erase, rotate, scale things, mirror, explode, which breaks up a complex line, trim and extend.